Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, assorted members of the jury, I bring to you a game of Age of Mythology Retold. The game to watch here. In the bottom of the map, playing in the teal color because he decides to be a little bit fancy like that. He's going to be showing us some Zeus today, and it is Uwu's Nulra Wu, or Null Uwu. The Uwu of Null, the man with many names. His opponent today is back. He's back from a brief hiatus from the land of Age of Mythology Retold. He put everyone on notice before he left saying, you guys, I'm dominating you all. I'll come back in a couple of months. You guys level up, and we'll see if you're still if you're doing any better. It's Matrius, and he's playing as Isis. Over here on the left-hand corner of the map, we've got Nose of the Sphinx, plus 15% of the building hit points there. Over here, we've got ourselves Harmonia's Necklace, a really nice relic there as well. Over on this side, we've got Arrows of the Alpha, boosting the melee damage there as well. Over onto this side, we've got Dwarven Calipers. Siege getting a little bit cheaper. So Zeus versus Isis is a classic matchup from way back in the day. We used to see this matchup all the time. And in fact, this goes back to like vanilla with AOM King versus Spoeft. We were two players who went at it quite a bit back in the day, through to like the mid period of Legacy with Magic versus Mister going Zeus versus Isis, through to even the later stages of Age of Mythology with Chemo playing some Isis versus players like Skadi, or Joe playing Isis versus Skadi, and all of that. There's been a lot of different iterations of this matchup being played, but it's one of those classic matchups that never gets boring. And same holds true to Age of Mythology Retold, because there's a lot of ways for things to go south here. There's a lot of opportunities for pressure. We are going to be seeing Matrius deciding to go for 2 Monuments Bast to kick this game off with a little bit of a later advance time. Nothing really wrong with this per se, but the thing that I think is important for the Isis player is to figure out how they're going to get onto the map. It's really, really difficult, I say, to go for a back second town center and slowly push forward onto the map. And so too, I think, is it important for the Zeus player to have some sort of consideration for this and say, hang on, I'm going to try and deny my opponent from getting onto the middle of the map. We do have all of these obelisks up, and we are going to be seeing Nulra going for the middle town center. Now, if you know this is happening, if you've got some sixth senses here, which to some degree it's impossible to know that at this moment, but if you've got some sixth sense here as the Isis player, you can just walk forward and get the town center, no problems. But Matrius doesn't have that obelisk up, doesn't know what's going on, and says, all right, we'll just take the back town center, nice and safe. Both players playing incredibly safe here on this one. The map is Watering Hole, so yeah, it is a little bit of a tricky one to deal with, because like one wall and a lot of the early aggression can get dealt with until you decide to opt into a dock with either a Leviathan or a transport ship. But that being said, I really don't mind opening some Hippias here from the Zeus if you want, especially it doesn't have to be with Hermes, especially with Hermes, but also you can go for it with some restoration shenanigans. Armory marker coming up for Matrius in the main base. I've been seeing a lot of Isis players doing this over time, as a little cheeky bolt onto the Sphinx there. A lot of Isis players doing this kind of over time. I'm still not sure I understand it. Like, at the very least, why not put the market like in the back corner, so you at least set up like a chemo trade route, just in case. You do lose out on a hefty amount of resources here. 40-second build time to get this up in order to trade, to lose even more resources. I never understand it, but people are doing it, and they're doing it because it helps them cover up their mistakes, I guess. So I don't mind it. Like if you like, everybody makes mistakes. The top level players definitely miss macro or misread a situation and need to quickly swap into a different sort of economic layout, and selling and buying is sometimes the easiest way to make that happen. Nonetheless, a cheeky little barracks is up now for Matrix. He queues out 5 spearmen as the obelisk is up over here. Priest starting to move forward. Sphinx coming in here, getting just a little bit of damage done. There's a market up for Matrius, and I imagine he's going to go up to the next age relatively soon. Nalra having just a little bit of trouble here with his macro himself. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but a lot of idle time on those villages as he has to move out onto the hunt over here. And we are seeing some cheeky walls coming up. This is vintage Age Mythology, guys. Like, do you remember? I used to get so frustrated. There's actually a game. There's a game I played. And I remember it vividly. I was playing Ra versus Poseidon against a guy called Swiss Boit. And I did the cleanest. I was like, dude, this fast heroic with Ra. I actually don't even know if it was that clean, but my memory of it was this was the cleanest fast heroic I've done to that point. And by the time I'd started to get units out, I was building camel riders, or back then they were called camelry. The Swiss boy had already gotten the entirety of the map, and not just the map, but like my side of the map, the entirety of the map walled up. And I was like, dude, I just did the cleanest fast heroic ever, and I can't do any damage with this because I have to spend all this time killing off these walls. The game ended up going for an hour or something, and I was like, I just lost. I was like, I couldn't kill his units. I couldn't fight him. I was completely constricted in my base. Vintage Age Mythology, walling all over the place. Try it out. It can be incredibly frustrating to play against, and Nulra knows this as he is setting these up everywhere, getting his market up nice and early. Houses coming down as well. But yeah, if you want to go check that game out, yeah, it was a Ra versus Poseidon Swiss boy. I don't remember what I titled it, but maybe just write that into YouTube search. Maybe I'll put it in the description box if we put this one up on YouTube. But yeah, and I was too stupid to think about siege weapons and things like that, and yeah, and how to use a rock and all these things. It was many years ago. It must have been like 4 years ago or something. Nonetheless, Spearman coming through here, looking for some raids. Heracles is in for Nulra, getting some wax in. As he does retreat back. Is that a scarf? Does he have a scarf on? Am I going crazy? It kind of does. It's a cape. It's just a cape. All right, never mind. I thought it was a scarf. I mean, I think I'm going crazy. That's fine. Meanwhile, up onto this position here, we've got the villagers very angrily shanking each other. Matrius' villager does look like it's going to win. You can't, or can you? Yes, you can escape. If you don't animation cancel that shank, you can just run away. Do I think I've improved my AOM skills since Legacy? I think relative to the competition, I was the best in 2012, but yeah, relative to the competition, I was the best in 2012. But if I was to play my 2012 self today, I would absolutely dominate myself. Does that make any sense? Ancestors Eclipse. Nope, just to Ancestors. No Eclipse. Why click Eclipse when you can just click Ancestors? Natrius says he's going to be able to hold this position, take out the fortress. Another fortress coming down for Nulra over here. With the AOM fundamentals, I did teach, yes, walls. Yeah, that's part of the fundamentals for sure. But it's, as we see the, wow, super late on the Eclipse there. This is such an interesting idea from Matrius. There's no real rush to drop it, I guess. As he's now able to charge forward, trying to get some damage done. Restoration to come through as the Sphinx charges. Oh, that's a little bit of damage, not much. As the fortress is now up, Matrius trying to get good value here as the Hypaspists now coming through. But Nulra looks like he might be holding here to some degree. And Matrius will need to retreat out. The fortress is still up over here. Matrius says, I'm not going anywhere. Let me just keep on shanking down your villagers as the Scorpion Man comes in. And that's going to scare Nulra off yet again. But now with a handful of pacifists, a couple of scary heroes. The fortress is on the way back up. 4 seconds from completion as the Scorpion Man does snipe one villager there. Going for another one. Nulra gets the fortress up. Gets into his fortress. And he's going to have that position secured. But behind all of this, Matrius is now 3 town centers. Matrius has now got himself a couple of Migdol strongholds. And he's ready to start moving forward. But yes, to touch on it again, yeah, fundamentals is about... Walls are just part of it, right? Like, walls are the simple way to prevent yourself or to eliminate weaknesses, right? They're just part of it. You want to eliminate weaknesses. That's part of the fundamentals. You can eliminate weaknesses by army positioning and things like that as well. But yeah, build walls. It's good. Look at this. Look at all of this coming up. Nulra's probably never going to stop trying to do this. And if you know that your opponent is doing this, one cheeky way you can sort of put a stop to it is, well, one, in all of the choke points, you build a long wall across so they can't use that choke point. But 2, leave a couple of units over here. And you just put them on patrol. And you can deny anything like that. Sure, it's population over there, but end of the day, if you can deny those walls for quite a while, it forces your opponent to have to react, send units over there, and you're kind of good to go. As the chariot archers moving forward. Oop, no ballistics at the moment here, it looks like, for Matrius. He is grabbing it as he... Oop, both of them are grabbing it as he has to pull back away from this position. And now Matrius is doing the Matrius things as he sneaks in onto this position with 2 siege works. He's also going up through Osiris. He's got a hefty advantage. Now cooking. As the chariot archers riding forward. What can he find here is the big question. You're going to snipe down a cheeky Pegasus. Very rare to see a Pegasus go down. Very rare. There is an Underworld passage. Obviously, here, Nulra wants to go for some sort of an Underworld. Potentially over here. Or something like that. There's units to come through. Camel Riders looking to raid the gold mine while this is all going on. The hardest part about playing this Hoplite Peltas comp is raids. The fact that your opponent's got 6 speed, 5 speed units, and you've got 4.3 speed, 4 speed. You do have a 4.9 speed, but, you know, Underworld does end up coming through as the villagers will immediately abandon position over here, sending the chariot archers up here as well. These villagers can simply move on to this gold mine. No problems there as the camel riders are back to say, excuse me, gold mine villagers. Oh, they're just going to say, I don't care about you big bodies of those camel riders. I'm going to phase through. It's all good. As Osiris now in, and Nulra going to be having to ask the question, or answer the question, how is he going to be able to kill off Son of Osiris? Now, the easy answer is get Mythic Age, Lightning Storm, Bellerophon, but he doesn't have that. He's got a ways to go to get to that next age. He's very far behind here in this game. That's the Son of Osiris wandering forward here. Whoop. Whoop. He can space the Son of Osiris here, funnily enough. But anyways, Nulra, where to next? One villager going down. We've got that zapping lightning, getting some big damage, but Nulra says, all right, time to get out of here. Oop. 16 HP in a dream. Katelska boss is out. Units hiding over here. Some more military buildings coming down. This is just buying time here for Nulra. I genuinely don't believe Matrius is just allowing this to stay here. Hoplites popped through, and now they're going after the town center. Matrius over here does get himself a couple of catapults going after the town center here. He's looking to split the map to some degree, trading town center blows here. His siege will kill off these buildings much faster, I think, than the town center. And Nulra has to retreat. He has to respect this, it looks like. But what? The son of a son? What? What? When? Why? How? Madrius, the son of a sire. Can he get in front? No, not quite. 200 HP, 190 HP. Does manage to get back into the town center, but the distraction tactics, or whatever that was, is back, and the town center is now down. The son of Osiris is now back out, going to snipe down a couple of villages as Nulra very focused on this army here. Moving in to snipe down some chariot archers and everything else. Meanwhile, the Spearmen, Desert Wind, Champion Camel Rider, Funeral Rites, all through. As Odysseus doing Odysseus things with Heracles. They're two bulky bodies, so that divine damage just doesn't really tickle them that much. And they're able to really go to town on that son of Osiris there. As the Hoplites getting some significant damage there. A cheeky little mummy joining in with the Axeman also coming through. Matches in full retreat now. He does have that 4 town centers to 2 town centers, which is a huge, huge advantage when playing it normally, but when playing Isis, even more of an advantage as the catapult finally coming through. Going to put a stop to the Underworld passage there as the restoration for Nulra gets dropped down. I think that might have been the second one, actually. As he tries to push forward, Nulra pulling back to his town center here. But I guess when you're in these sorts of positions as the 4 town center player, he's got the economic advantage. He's got the population advantage, but he just needs to sort of wait for the units to come out. He's got himself only 3 Migdols. He could pop the Son of Osiris out and power up the Migdol to speed it up. He can get Levy. He can drop an extra Migdol somewhere on the map to start producing a little bit faster. He is making more units. He's getting himself out onto this position. Another, no catapult here. As the army of Nulra, that's a ton of hoplites. Look at the difference in military pop. It's equal. It's actually equal right now. 224 to 180. That's because the villager differential is so big. Son of Osiris getting some damage, and we see fortified town centers through. Chariot archers sniping villagers down here, but the hoplites are getting some good trades over here as the catapults continuing to retreat back up to the top side here. Villagers getting sniped down over here as well. Into you. As Matrius just looking for villager kills, just looking to slow down this Zeus economy, prevent the Mythic Age to some degree. But Nulra doesn't have to buy any units here. He's traded really, really well. And Matrius is back down to 180 population. It's these chariot archers searching for villagers currently attacking houses. You can go after villagers into the main town center here if he wants. And he can retreat back out if he wants as well. As these forward buildings now for Matrius now getting sniped down. Axeman, chariot archer, elephant, camel rider, everything under the sun now for Matrius to start getting built. What's he got? He's got 7 barracks. He's got 4 Migdols. He's now spamming those elephants out. I'm a little surprised at this because the elephants, they don't necessarily trade too well against the hoplites. Plus, they don't have any upgrades yet. But Nulra struggling to break down this town center. Some sort of walls here would not go astray. As he creeps forward, villagers for Matrius very close here to snipe this down. If Matrius notices, and he does notice as he comes forward, shanking nicely here as one Petropolis. Two Petropolis. No more Petropolis going down as the Hoplite's going to be able to start defending on this spot. Mattress just all the way pulling back. He's still just, I mean, this is the thing that's going wrong for Mattress. It's pretty, when you watch this and you see what's going on with the pop, it kind of makes sense. But the problem here is Mattress is just not getting units out. Town Center down. Now Nullra has got a pathway to victory here. Hoplite's coming over here. There are a couple of axemen in to defend. Nice little positioning there for him. As he's now going to start breaking forward with his own elephants. Got to be really careful. The buildings for Nullra, however, are going down. I mean, he's got a hefty amount of barracks. He's got 7. 4 Migdols. Doesn't have himself the levy, which is really hurting. Trying to make those chariot archers out. And I guess the other thing is that Nullra's got himself a lot of favor. He drops that restoration and his army's back up to full HP. Huge amount of like resources that you don't notice coming back when you heal. It's a big deal for the fights. So he's even there, it's fine. It's now he breaks through this army. Matri is desperately trying to hold on here. As the Axeman coming over, 155 to 177 population. Nullra's hoplites can take out this position, maybe. He loses his fortress, but he's got another one, so he could go for another Petropolis, which he does have queued out. So he's going to start producing those and maybe start sniping down the town center here. As Nullra starts to move up onto this spot. Now, the big problem for Nullra is gold. He's got 0 on gold at the moment. 0. Now, he does have a gold mine here with 3,700. He does have a gold mine up here. There is a gold mine over here. He's harassing up onto this spot with just a couple of units. The pacifist going after some champion axemen. Not going to be the easiest thing for them to win there. As one catapult rolling into this position manages to deny the town center for the time being. And as Nullra charges through, he does take some good trades here. Matches is still just not able to get his units out. Like he's, in some degree right now, this wasn't the case earlier in the game, but right now he's being forced to do all of this. And this is why Nullra is taking good trades. Why Nullra is making good trades right now. But even so, part of me feels like he just needs to sort of stack some sort of a position and just get himself up to full pop. Hoplite Peltast now coming through as the pacifist Hoplite Peltast shenanigans here getting dealt with. Matrius on the micro as the Axeman on the back here getting sniped down. Still, the other thing here to remember is Nullra still... He does have the gold mine up here. Matrius doesn't know there's a gold. That's big for Nullra. Means he doesn't have to worry about defending it. But now Nullra struggling to actually produce some units here as Matrius is able to push back. For the first time in this game, he's struggling to get those units out. And as strong as this Hoplite Peltast army is, it's just not going to be that useful against the power of a fully populated Egyptian army. What's not to like about Castaroonies? Come on, guys. Couple of markets up onto this side for Matrius as he is spamming out that trade route. Not the best position for it, but it's going to be good. Oh. And Matrius' spidey sense is tingling as he says, hang on, if there's a gold mine over here, maybe there's a gold mine over here. And he manages to spot Null Ra's gold. And this is absolutely huge. Because not only does it buy Matrius time, but this is like a mental defeat for Null Ra. He gets spotted over there, didn't set the walls up, loses a bunch of villagers, pulling back. He's only just got close to hitting full population again. Losing the timing means Matrius can now grab this town center, back up, go up to full population, and be in a good position now. I feel like this gold mine just kind of got forgotten about. Oh, it happens to the best of us, I think. Now, Matrius, I'm still like, Matrius is still struggling to get himself to full population here. He's got his army swinging in from the bottom. He does have a military advantage, so this should result in him winning these fights. But he's still struggling to get to that full population. Restoration, though, from Null Ra does force Matrius back. And he's got 8 villages on favor right now. The amount of favor gain you get from playing Zeus without needing to go for Aphrodite, absolutely insane. This is, yeah, peak Zeus abuse to some degree. Utilizing the strengths of your civilization as these villagers up onto this gold mine now. Sharing is caring, but both the armies say no, we're not allowed to have that. Great control here from Matrius. Good control from Nullus as well. Null Ra as well to pull back those pacifists. But now Matrius is at full population. Now he can grab the town center and he's going to be completely fine. And there's not going to be a position now for Null Ra to take a good fight. He needs like Lightning Storm from this moment onwards. He needs Lightning Storm. Gold mine over here to grab potentially as the barracks gets cleaned up. But can Null Ra get to the Mythic Age is the big question. I don't know if he's got 31 on food. He's got a hefty amount of villages on food. If we take a quick look at what it's going up by, it's going up by 17.35 a minute. So if he gets a minute of peace here in this game, plus also uses this gold mine with all of his wood villages or something, sure, probably gets to the Mythic Age, probably uses Lightning Storm, probably can continue along for a little bit longer. But that's a big if, because Matrius is not going to be just sitting there idly as the Peltasts charging forward here. Good snipes on all of these. Matrius, like, I'm not sure why he didn't want to take that fight. Could have just pulled back out this way. More chariot archers at the top sniping villages there. But a good fight yet again for Null Ra. Somehow, some way he manages to semi-win the fight, but as the Scorpion men are in, huge damage, poison damage onto those Deuterinos there. What does it actually do? How much damage? 12 divine damage over time. As the chariot archers sneak through, camel riders now onto the back line as another hefty ISIS army in to dominate this position. And in that moment there, Null Ra says, I'm almost double the score behind here. It's time to tap out. Wow. That was an interesting game there. Like, Null Ra basically brought this back to even with Matrius kind of floundering his population advantage and the ways he was taking fights. But in the end, yeah, just as a gold mine here. I think Null Ra just missed this. Anyways, GG. Well played. Solid game. As always, ISIS versus Zeus. A lot of fun. You can see how close the units killed loss was as well throughout the entirety of this game. Anyways, if you like the game, please consider the follow on Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next one.